So I grew up in San Diego my whole life. My mom was a huge motivator. She was really pushing, us to be successful. So it was a pretty intense household I grew up in. My dad, he was pretty famous in the baseball world. From a family standpoint, he was everything to our family. He was literally the epicenter of the Wiggins family. I was turning 4 years old when he died, and he was kept away from me because at the time they really believed that it was not good to be around people who had AIDS. They thought that if you could contract it by simply breathing the same air. So, and he was a drug user. That's how he contracted it. So my only memories of him were when he was alive and not in the hospital, were visiting him at his apartment that he had gotten in Los Angeles. I wasn't even allowed to come into the apartment, but he was sitting on the table and there was just a lot of paraphernalia, drug paraphernalia on a coffee table, I recall, and he just looked like he was already kind of dead, and it's nothing short of a tragedy. It was a terrifying time to be alive at that point. And what happened for me was I had, this very strange sense of understanding kind of what happens when you die. And I think that because of that, I had almost like a sense of relief, like a sense of joy, because I just felt like life doesn't really end. It kind of continues, and I really believed that. When I was growing up, I don't think I was very comfortable talking to my siblings or my mom about my dad. I would ask them questions, and there was so much pain, you know what I'm saying, associated with it. It wasn't really easy to talk about. AIDS was absolutely out of the question to talk about, and so it was, again, it was a lot of ignoring, a lot of, it's almost like he was an imaginary person. We actually have home video of, really great times. So we have videos of that, and I got to really see wow, from what I remember and what I've seen on videos are two different people. When my dad died, it almost felt like it was a waste, it was a waste of talent. That's what they were labeling in the newspapers. The LA Times obituary, everything I would read, it was just wasted life. What a waste, and I just, that would hurt a lot, because it was he died in vain, oh, no one cares. It's just another lost soul. And that's really what I think fired me to be no, there's more meaning behind his life. Children should take that upon themselves when they do lose a parent, to be the legacy, to continue that and not let it just end, because it never ends. It's always constantly, it's everlasting. It really is. And people have to start believing in that eternal perspective. So I always had a goal, not only going to WNBA, but going to the WNBA through Stanford, and I chased that emphatically. So eventually, in high school, I applied to Stanford, and I got accepted. I remember the phone call I got, your application has been accepted, and we're going to give you a scholarship, full ride scholarship to Stanford University. It shows that if you set a goal, or if you work at it, you can achieve it. When you lose a parent at a young age, you have to be in survival mode, and that's what I think it's about. It's about, who's still here on Earth. We're the survivors, and we have to take that role as being a survivor very, very seriously, because it is important, because we can encourage and support other survivors. Your character is stronger just by nature. So you have to really understand that you're almost a leader of courage. When I'm feeling, down or feeling very sad, having a sense of sadness about my father, about losing him at a young age, and kind of feeling like you kind of feel like there's a hole in your bucket. You know, you feel like, you know, there's just something's missing, something's not there. I try to keep an eternal perspective. I try to understand and think about, you know, his presence being here. Maybe I can't see it, but you can feel a presence. The best medicine is crying, honestly. Feeling the pain, not letting your emotions stay bottled up. Break free of that. And I'm telling you from experience, you have a really good cry, you will be comforted, your spirit will be so comforted, and you will not feel that same pain again. It'll change. It'll be it's an emotional release. And I think that that's the important message I would have is do not be afraid to cry. For all of those out there that you've lost a parent or lost a loved one close to them, you're gonna be okay. Just remember to set goals in life. You have a purpose, and remember that it is the journey, not the destination. Just understand that, enjoy the journey, because it is your journey and no one can take that from you.